Okay, so we stopped our class while we were doing these questions and time went out. So this question is directly from NCERT, that what are outside raw material used for by an organism? What are the raw materials any organism used to make its food? So answer is clear, that plants use, we done this, plants use water and carbon dioxide as their raw food material. So plant use water, carbon dioxide, and we can say they need light and energy also to make their food. We studied this in very detail. And finally plants make glucose. So plant makes glucose. Now glucose is converted to various forms of food like fat, like carbohydrates, like protein. So now glucose is converted to various food forms, starch, and all these forms are eaten by us. So plant use water and carbon dioxide as a raw material, and we take starch, fat, carbohydrate, protein, or any kind of food we eat. All of the food material or all of the food sources contain these things, and whatever we eat will convert to glucose, or we can say carbon based force. So the question is, what are outside raw material used by an organism? So plant use carbon dioxide and water to make their food, and animal eat what plant produce. Plant produce glucose, and glucose is converted to various forms of food like fat, carbohydrate, starch, protein. Okay, so animals take food made by plants, which is glucose, of course, and glucose produce various forms of food: fat, starch, protein, and carbohydrate. Now the next question is, what processes would you consider essential for maintaining life? Okay, now think about our first class. We studied that there are so many types of processes, each and every process which helps us to maintain our life, like our digestion, like our respiration, even sleeping, even secretion of saliva, secretion of sweat, each and every process, excretion, formation of urine, whatever we do to maintain our life. So each and every process which helps us to maintain our life is known as life process. So there are so many types of life process, like digestion, respiration. You can say sleeping is also essential for life. So all these things, all the processes you do, you can write anything, you do several processes in a day. Okay, so each and every process we do in a life, in our life, or in a day, on daily basis, to maintain our life or to fulfill our needs. Okay, sweating, everything. So these processes are essential for maintaining life, and these are known as life processes. You can write many more. You don't need to learn that this is life process and that is life process. We all are aware of this, that without doing this we cannot survive, without digestion we cannot survive, without respiration we cannot survive, without sleeping we cannot survive. Yes, without sleeping a person could die, and without salivation we cannot survive, without urination we cannot survive. So all these processes are known as life process. Now we will move to another topic, and this another topic is known as nutrition. We talked about this before, that we eat food to get two things. We eat food to get two things. One thing is energy, We studied about this. And the second thing is nutrition. Now, nutrition is present in those forms. Which forms? Nutrition is present in the form of carbohydrate, nutrition is present in the form of fat, nutrition is present in the form of protein, nutrition is present in the form of glucose, and nutrition is present in the form of minerals. So whatever we eat, at least it contain carbohydrate. We know that carbs are not good for our body. You have heard several times that don't eat pizza, don't eat burger, don't eat mayonnaise, because it contain a huge amount of carbohydrate and fat. But we get something from it. Not everything, but we are getting something from carbohydrate and fat. And the rich source of minerals and proteins. So rich source of minerals is vegetable and fruit, and rich source of protein is milk, egg. These things are rich source of. So whatever we eat contain anything, and we get nutrition from it. Okay. So how energy is produced? We studied in our previous class that how energy is produced by our body, and now we will learn about nutrition. So whatever we eat contain nutrition. Okay, whatever you eat contain nutrition. Even if you are eating carbohydrate, it is containing something. Okay, not everything, but it is containing something. Pizza, burger, at least they are containing something which gives us nutrition or energy to live. Okay, now to grow, to develop, and to synthesize protein, we need food to grow, to develop, and to synthesize protein. We are aware of these two things, that we need food to grow and to develop. Okay, now what is the synthesis of protein? This word is directly from NCERT. So synthesis of protein means whatever you eat. If you eat protein from milk, okay, you take milk and you are getting protein from milk. Now the protein of milk will convert into another form, and it will again produce protein, but a bit difference. With a bit difference, let's consider that we eat protein, we have eaten protein, we take milk. Okay, we take protein. Now protein is like 1 2 3 4 5. This is a protein molecule. Whenever we take it, our enzymes of our body breaks this milk into 1 2 3 4 and 5, and some another processes of our body will change this into 1 2 4 5 3 or any another manner. So we took this thing from as the source of protein, but enzymes of our body after some processing broken down broke this, and finally a new protein is formed by our body. Okay, so our body is synthesizing something, and protein is something, uh, some kind of protein is we take from outer sources, and sometimes types of protein is produced by our body. So sometimes our body also produce protein. You have to remember this, that our body also produce protein. Our body synthesize protein. It takes something from outside, it takes protein from outside, and after that it convert it to another type of protein. So our body synthesize protein. So whatever our body is doing, growing, developing, synthesizing protein, whatever it is doing, it needs food. Okay, now this is a essential thing, that if our body want to synthesis a protein, new protein for us, we have to eat protein. That is a limitation, or that is a requirement. If you are eating fat, then your body is not going to produce any type of protein for you. No. If you are eating carbohydrate, then surely your body is not going to produce any type of protein for you. If you're eating protein, then only your body is going to produce a convertible form of protein. So for protein, you have to eat protein. Now there are so many types of organism. We know there are various type of organism, like autotroph, which are also known as plants, and heterotrophs. The meaning of auto means self. They are self-dependent. For what? They are self-dependent to make food by the process which is known as photosynthesis. We have learned this in detail on previous classes. Photo means light and synthesis means to create. So plants need light to synthesize food. This process is known as photosynthesis. Other than plants, there are some bacteria. Remember this, that some type of bacteria, not all type of bacteria also go for photosynthesis. Bacteria also go for photosynthesis, and bacteria can also produce food for their own. Okay, as plants and bacteria are autotrophs, they depend, not all bacteria, some bacteria, and they can produce their own food, so they are known as autotrophs. So if the question question can be asked that what type of organisms are autotrophs, then you have to write that plants are autotrophs and bacteria are also autotrophs. Why so? Because both of them contain a pigment known as chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is a green color pigment. You know that plant contain chlorophyll. Plant have chlorophyll in their cell. So bacteria, any organism, any type of organism who can prepare their own food in the presence of sunlight. Okay, if you said that I can prepare Maggie, or if you say I can prepare tea, or I can prepare anything for myself, then you cannot be considered as autotrophs. It is something different. Any organism who can use carbon dioxide and water and use sun energy to produce food, it is known as autotroph. So this bacteria can also use carbon dioxide and water and as a raw source, and plants definitely they use this and also use sun energy to produce their food. That's why plants and bacteria are known as autotrophs, because very important thing that to produce food by with the help of sun energy, or to produce food for ourselves, for own selves, as plant and bacteria are doing, that is an important thing which is present, should be present in a cell, that is known as chlorophyll, and the color of chlorophyll is green. That's why plant looks green. So everything, the production of food by help of by taking carbon dioxide, hydrogen and sun energy is because of this chlorophyll. Now, when we talk about heterotrophs, okay, heterotrophs. So heterotrophs are animal and they are totally dependent on plants for their food. So heterotrophs take fat, heterotrophs take protein, heterotrophs take carbohydrates, heterotrophs take any other sort of food which is made by plant. Okay, in previous class we studied that how plants produce several type of foods, like it convert glucose into fat, it can convert glucose into carbohydrate, and plants can convert protein into carbohydrates. So we get each and everything from plant. Either you are vegetarian or non-vegetarian, directly or indirectly, all of us are dependent on plant, and plant produce all type of food. Plant can produce fat. We eat oils from plant like groundnut oil, mustard oil, sesame oil, coconut oil. We eat proteins from plant. We know that cereals and almonds contain a huge amount of protein, and we eat carbohydrate from plant. Every form of sugar which we get from plant, apple sugar and grape sugar, etc., all are carbohydrates. So we get each and everything from plant. Okay, we eat fruit, we eat oils, we eat everything we get from plant. So we eat these things from outside. Whatever you are eating, if you are eating a normal food, homemade food, or if you are eating something fast food, or whatever you are eating, if you are taking any cold drink, cold drinks contain huge amount of carbohydrates. So whatever you are taking, you take from it is made up of plant. Okay, but these forms are known as complex form. These are known as complex form because they are known as why they are known as complex form. Plant is using carbohydrate and water to make a form which is known as glucose. Plant use this and sun energy to produce this, and this is known as glucose. Now you can think, and oxygen and water, of course, and this reaction is known as photosynthesis. Because plant is producing something complex. Okay, this reaction is known as photosynthesis. Plant is using carbohydrate and water. Those who entered late in class, please let me tell you, I won't allow you next time if you appeared late. This is your first and last time. So plant is taking carbohydrate and water and sun energy, of course, and producing glucose. Okay. Now we studied in previous class that by plants, glucose is converted to fat, glucose is converted to carbohydrate, whatever taste sweet is carbohydrate. Okay, fat we know oil, and protein and starch. Okay, and plants store some starch. Right now, plant produce glucose, a huge amount of glucose, and it is difficult to eat glucose each and every time. We need to eat something different, and we want to eat something very different each and every time. Sometimes we eat fat. We cannot live without fat. We cannot live without fried food or any food which is not containing fat. Okay, so plant is converting glucose. The primary product of plant is glucose, food product. Firstly, plant produce glucose. I told you this in previous class. And by using several other pathways and by using several other methods, plant is converting this glucose to fat, carbohydrate, protein, and starch. So a little amount or a required amount of starch is stored by plant for itself. Okay, plant produce so many things. All these things it will store for other animals or for humans, and we can eat all these forms. We can also eat starch, but a required amount of starch is stored by plants for themselves. That if a plant will need something to eat, it will use this starch again. Okay, so we can also eat starch, like we eat potatoes and rice, and we can get starch from potatoes and rice. So we can take starch, but the stored food material for plants, by plants, plant produce glucose, but plant never store glucose as its reserve material. Plant store glucose, plant convert glucose into starch for us and for themselves, and they store a required amount of starch for themselves. It is stored. So plant don't eat fat, carbohydrate, protein, but plant eat starch. Okay. Now, so plant takes carbohydrate and hydrogen. They are very, very simple type of molecule. Okay. And it is converting this simple molecule to this complex molecule, because glucose is, we can say glucose is a complex molecule if we compare this to with carbon dioxide and hydrogen. Okay. But we are taking more complex form. We are taking glucose and other products which are made up of glucose by after some chemical reactions or after some other difficult pathways. Plant converts glucose to fat, carbohydrate, protein, and starch. So plant is taking this simple two things as a raw material. And what we are taking? We are taking food, we are taking carbohydrate, we are taking protein, and we are taking starch. Okay, now all these foods of forms are complex because they are having a long chemical formula, a long chemical formula, long chemical formula. And what about this? Just CO2 and H2O. So plant is taking very simple thing from outside and converting this to this complex form, glucose and other complex forms. First of all, it prepared glucose. Glucose is a primary food product produced by plant, and a plant doesn't stop with this. It produces more complex forms by adding something and by so many other pathways. Okay, so we are taking very complex forms of food. Now to get absorbed by our body. Our body cannot absorb fat directly, our body cannot absorb carbohydrate directly, or our body cannot absorb protein or starch directly, because they are so long. The molecular formula is so long. CH, CH2, CH2, and it is so, you know why they are known as, why I'm calling them complex? Because they are containing a huge and long chemical formula, very long chemical formula. That's why they are complex. Why I'm saying carbon dioxide and water as simple? Because you know they're so tiny and made up of only two type of chemicals: carbon and oxygen, hydrogen and oxygen. But for and just little bit, this much is small, and they are contains very long formula. Even I don't want to discuss with you. Okay, so these are complex, and our body cannot take this complex form just like they are. So our body needs to break down them, and our body break down them, and for breaking them, we need some enzymes, and these enzymes are known as biocatalyst. Okay, what is the meaning of catalyst? If you are heating something, then heat is catalyst. Okay, uh, if you are uh, this is glucose, and if you want to break down it again into this, then you need something, some enzyme. Okay, so enzyme is something which helps to complete a reaction, helps to complete a reaction. Okay, so that's why they are known as catalyst. They helps reaction to complete. So whatever we eat, suppose we have eaten fat, and our body cannot take fat as it is. Whatever you have eaten, you coconut oil, groundnut oil, mayonnaise, butter, whatever you have eaten, our body cannot take it directly. Okay, so our first of our what our digestive system does, our digestive system breaks this fat. Okay, as I told you, this is fat. Now our digestive system is breaking down our this fat by using some enzymes, and these enzymes are known as biocatalyst. Okay, don't forget, enzymes are known as biocatalyst. Okay, some enzymes, I'm using enzyme term biocatalyst for enzymes. So don't think about that what are biocatalysts, because they helps to improve the rate of reaction. So now this fat, we have eaten fat, and our body cannot take this directly. So our digestive system secretes some juices. We knew about these juices known as digestive juices, or we can say they are enzyme or they are catalyst. And now this will be broken down into this. Okay, now this is a broken form of fat. Our digestive system breaks down this. Our digestive system secreted some enzyme known as biocatalyst. And finally, this is a broken form of fat. Now our body again absorb this. Now our body can absorb this, and it will be converted after absorption. Now they are broken down. You can see they are uh, here they are together, and here they are separated. Now our body absorb them, and again our body convert to this like anything but in different form. Okay, for example, you can we hear that listening that someone is saying to someone that she or he is so fat and he's so fatty, and he's so obese and something like that. So fat, definitely all of us are having fat inside our body. We if we are fatty, then we are having fat. Okay, and little a bit amount of fat you can feel under your skin. All our skin, there is amount of tissue which contain fat known as fatty tissue. So all of us having fat. Okay, now the fat we eat cannot be absorbed by our body like this. Suppose we eat ghee, okay, or we eat butter, or we eat mustard oil. Okay, now our body cannot absorb ghee, so our body needs to change this. Why our body needs to change this? Because today we have eaten fat, and after, suppose after 1 month, okay, or suppose after not even 1 month, suppose after 1 day, okay, can you find butter inside your body? You have eaten butter today or even in your lunch, and can you find the same amount of butter or the same thing like butter in your body after 1 day or in the evening? We cannot find butter inside our body. We cannot find. If definitely we love to eat and we just think that we have eaten this ghee, butter or mustard oil in our lunch, can you find this in your dinner inside your body? No, we cannot find this. Why? Because our body cannot take this direct form. It's need to break down everything whatever you eat. If you have taken grape juice, okay, in your lunch, no one can find the same grape juice in dinner in your inside your body. Okay, it has been lost somewhere where our body broke down this by the help of enzyme, digestive juice, or biocatalyst like this, and again form a new thing, a new form of fat, because we all of us are having fat, and the person who is fat, he contains so much amount of fat. Okay, but from where this fat comes? This fat comes from whatever we eat. We eat fat, we store fat, but we store fat in some another type of chemical formula. Definitely we are having fat inside our body, but we have another kind of fat, and whatever we eat is another kind of fat. Definitely they are transforming. So our body is synthesizing or doing something to maintain its own fat. Now this fat is of our body, and it is nothing to do with this fat, because both of them are totally different. But this fat is generated from this fat. Definitely the protein inside our body is generated from what we have eaten. The carbohydrate in our body is generated from whatever we eaten. So we eat very complex form, and our body needs to break down it with the help of some enzymes or biocatalysts. Okay, because our body cannot take this complex type of food like fat, carbohydrates, so our body needs to break down it. But plant use very simple type of elements or simple type of food like carbohydrate and hydrogen, and it makes them complex. So what is the difference? That plant use very simple type of food, plant joins this to make this. This is primary plant product known as glucose. It is sweet in nature. So plant goes by simple to complex mode. Or bacteria, those who can prepare their food by using carbohydrate, hydrogen, or by, there must be the presence of chlorophyll. Okay, so plants and bacteria can do this. All plants and some bacteria, not all bacteria. Okay, so plant go use a root simple to complex, and we use a root complex to simple. Whatever we eat, it needs to be break down first. It needs to be break down first. After that, it can be processed. The plant goes from simple to complex root, and we go, or animal, those who are dependent on plant, or those who cannot produce their own food, goes from complex root to simple root. So this is all we have learned. Now we are talking what type of these animals? Those are heterotrophs. Those who are dependent on others. These animals are like humans, cows, dogs, and fungi. Okay, fungi is also heterotroph, and it can take its food from outside. It cannot produce its own food. So this is autotrophic nutrition. Plants store their food in the form of starch. As soon as they produce glucose, they store it in the form of starch. But as soon as we get something to eat, we store our food. Okay, autotrophs store their food as starch. But heterotrophs stores their food as glycogen. Remember, glycogen is also made up of glucose. Starch is also produced by glucose, and starch is a reserve food material for plants. And glycogen is also produced from glucose, and it is also a reserve food material or reserve food product. But glycogen is for heterotrophs. So you have to remember these two things. Now, let's back to the reaction which is known as photosynthesis. What is photosynthesis? In the presence of sun energy, you know, and how much energy is essential for us, and in the presence of chlorophyll, which is green and which helps to complete this reaction. And the formed products are now the reaction of photosynthesis occurs in 3 steps, not one by one, but what actually occurs during photosynthesis. Let's study. First thing, absorption of light energy by chlorophyll. Okay, first of all, I told you that chlorophyll is very important thing. We studied that chlorophyll is very important thing, and each and everywhere we wrote chlorophyll. Okay, each and everywhere, whenever you find the reaction or wherever you find the reaction of photosynthesis, you will find something like chlorophyll written. Okay, so without help of chlorophyll, we cannot complete photosynthesis reaction. Plants cannot complete photosynthesis reaction because chlorophyll traps sun energy. It captures sun energy. Okay, so the first step for photosynthesis is absorption of light energy by chlorophyll. Why we cannot go for photosynthesis? We cannot go for photosynthesis because we don't have chlorophyll, and chlorophyll is very you can say battery of plant. It is battery of plant which can store sun energy. Okay, if you want to cook food, you need some gas or you need some induction, or if you're using any source, but at least you need some source. Okay, so chlorophyll stores sun energy and it captures sun energy first of all. After that, light energy, the sun energy, we know that sun energy is in the form of light. So light energy which is captured by chlorophyll is converted to chemical energy. First of all, chlorophyll absorb this. Chlorophyll absorb light energy and convert this light energy to chemical energy, a different form of energy. First thing this occur. Okay. Second thing is splitting of water molecule into hydrogen and oxygen. Now what is this? Look at here how it is working. Splitting of water molecule. Okay. This water molecule is splitted in hydrogen and oxygen. First thing is sun energy is captured by chlorophyll. Second thing is the water molecule is broken down into hydrogen and oxygen separately. Okay. Now the third thing is reduction of carbon dioxide to carbohydrates. Reduction of carbon dioxide to carbohydrates. Very simple. This carbon dioxide, okay, now it goes with this hydrogen. Okay, and this carbon dioxide is reduced. What is the meaning of this thing? Carbon dioxide, first chlorophyll, sun energy is absorbed by chlorophyll, and this energy can be used as chemical energy. Now by help of this energy, water molecules is splitted, and this splitted hydrogen now together with this carbon dioxide. Okay, and this together form is this. You can see this reaction added hydrogen with this carbon dioxide, and now this carbon dioxide contain carbon dioxide, oxygen and hydrogen, C6, H12 and O6. So it is known as reduction. Why it is known as reduction? Because whenever we add hydrogen to any another substance, this is known as reduction. We know the process of reduction is adding of hydrogen. So hydrogen is added with it. First, chlorophyll absorbs sun energy, it converts sun energy into chemical energy. Now this energy is used to break down this water molecule. Water molecule is broken down into hydrogen and oxygen, and this hydrogen will added to this carbon dioxide. This process is known as reduction. Whenever hydrogen is added to any other substance, known as reduction. And this glucose is a reduced product of this carbon dioxide and this added hydrogen. So three things happen during a photosynthesis: absorption of light energy by chlorophyll first, conversion of light energy to chemical energy, and splitting of water molecule. This water molecule will get splitted, and this hydrogen will be added to this, and this addition of hydrogen molecule with carbon dioxide is known as reduction. And finally this is reduced product. This is reduced product. Okay, and this oxygen will remain again added with someone else hydrogen, and again, and some of the oxygen will be free like this. Okay, so these are three basic events. Now it is not important that this event should go one by one. This events should not, there is no need that they go one by one, that first energy should be trapped and after this should be happen and after that this should be happen. No, they are just three steps and they can go without any sequence. Okay, it is possible that something occur before absorption of light energy, or something is produced before trapping of or absorption of light energy. So it is not so important that that this reaction should be first and this should be second and this should be third. It is not so important. Just these three reactions are important, and the most important thing is known as reduction. When this energy breaks down, when this energy added this hydrogen with this carbon dioxide and it forms glucose or sugar, and the remaining oxygen will go out like this free form. So this is known as photosynthesis. Okay, I'm finishing this class, and tomorrow we are not having any class because tomorrow is Friday and we will meet after tomorrow on Saturday. Okay, bye bye till Saturday.